Happy New Year! It's 2026 and this is the year you're applying to med school. Let's talk about what you should be doing every single month between now and submission day to make sure that you're ready to apply with a world-class application. Remember to like this video and follow for daily tips on how to become a doctor throughout 2026. Now let's get into it. And for this video, we're just going to focus on the actual application timeline itself. I posted a lot of content about MCAT in December, so I'm not going to focus on that today. In January, you're going to tackle some of the rate-limiting steps of the application. If you haven't engaged your school's pre-health committee letter process, you're going to make sure you jump into that. If you don't have access to that, don't worry about it, but you need to be aware of whether or not you do, and if you do, you have to get plugged in as early as possible. Then you're going to ask for your letters of recommendation. This ensures that you don't get caught out by someone going on vacation or not having time to get to it later in the semester when they're grading papers or whatever. Just go ahead and ask now so they can put it on their schedule. Third thing for January is that if you haven't started writing your personal statement, you're going to push out a first draft. Moving on to February. Hopefully it's been about a week, maybe two, since you wrote that draft of your personal statement in January. If you haven't already, you'll go to the link in my bio and look at my personal statement writing guides. I've been helping people become doctors for 9 years, and that includes writing personal statements. And most of the time, when people send me their personal statement without having reviewed those guides, most of my feedback is the stuff in the guides. In fact, that's how I wrote the guides. You'll check out those guides and you'll edit your own personal statement and see if you made any of those major mistakes or if you totally don't even get what a personal statement is supposed to look like. A lot of people don't even realize you need to iterate multiple versions of a personal statement for it to be really good. So the fact that you're even going through this puts you ahead of the pack. Most of the people who regularly watch my channel will already be aware of the submission dates upcoming in May. But if you're not, this would be a good time for you to go and check out the AAMC's website and add the pre-med application calendars to your calendar so that you're aware from the actual source of what the deadlines and timeline looks like. All right, we're about to get into March here. Now you may have done 1 or 2 drafts of your personal statement by this point in January, February, maybe even the 2 of them in February. You're gonna iterate a little bit more in March. You're also gonna start building your school list. If you're in Texas, you're obviously gonna apply everywhere in Texas. If you're out of Texas or even in Texas, you also need to be thinking about what MD and DO programs you're gonna apply to. Generally advise that people think about things like the cost, but also the places they wanna live. If you're a city dweller, you may not wanna live rural. If you're a rural person, you might not do well in a city. You got to think about it. Maybe it would be helpful to be close to family. Maybe it would be helpful to be really far away from family. I don't know. You can build a school list based off of that. You can also think about things like, is it a 1-year or 2-year preclinical curriculum? Or if you're interested in very niche specialties or research, do they have representation in those fields? April is when people start sweating, but you don't have to because you watch this on January 1st. You're just going to keep iterating your personal statement. You're also going to figure out what you need to do to get all of your transcripts. For every person, it's different depending on what stage of your career you're in, but you want to be aware of that because here comes May. Now in May, that's when TMDSAS and ACOMAS can be populated and submitted. AMCAS can be populated starting May 5th, and then it can be submitted on May 26th, according to the AAMC's latest data available on December 31st, 2025, which is when I posted a video about it, by the way. So May is all about getting those things in. If you're applying to TMDSAS, ACOMAS, and AMCAS, you probably want to start with the first 2 because those can be submitted earlier, and schools generally start reviewing applications earlier than AMCAS. So you get those in, populate AMCAS, and you want to submit AMCAS as early as possible so that your verification is not delayed. What a sprint. All right, we're at the end of May, we're going into June. Your applications are submitted, but you're not just gonna sit there and wait. You're gonna look up the secondary essays of your 5 favorite medical schools. And you're going to pre-write these so that when you get sent those secondaries, most of which get sent automatically, you're able to populate them, edit them, and submit them right away. Remember that applications are not marked as ready to review until every aspect of the application is submitted. That includes the primary, the secondary, the transcripts, standardized exam scores, letters of recommendation, and whatever else is needed. So there's no reason to be sitting there waiting on writing secondaries if you could just pre-write them and have them ready to submit the moment you get them. You'll continue submitting secondaries throughout July, August, and hopefully the interview invitations will roll in. And I think that's pretty much enough for this video. If you found that helpful, and if you want daily tips on how to become a doctor in 2026, follow my page. I'm here to make this information as accessible as possible to absolutely everybody, because unequal access to application tips should never be the difference between becoming a doctor and not.